I'm chatting to a chef of legend, Mertia's chef, Matt van den Bergh. How's it?
Russel, thanks for having me. I wouldn't say legend, but maybe one day. Not like some of the guys I've worked with.
Well, as long as you're a legend in your own mind, you're okay.
Yeah, not quite. Not yet at least. Not yet at least.
So, one of the reasons I phoned you because I want to talk to chefs on my show, ones who are doing well, but also a lot of the chefs that I've spoken to recently, when I ask them like, who are you watching, who's doing amazing stuff, they say, oh, Matt van den Bergh.
Yeah, who is that? Yeah, I don't know quite. I don't know how to respond to that. Obviously, that's great.
Yeah.
I think one of my things I pride myself on is my relationships with the chefs in the industry. So maybe that's a factor of that. And everywhere I've worked and people I've touched paths with, I've got very good relationships with all of them.
That is a common theme. Everyone says you're an amazingly nice guy.
Oh, right. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. There's obviously a few guys I've worked with in the kitchens that maybe were my students or commies that might not say the same thing.
Yeah.
But that's a service thing, you know.
Yeah,
I think after service we have a beer and we're all good. But I think when I first started out, I was a bit gnarly, and I've definitely mellowed out a lot. But in terms of relationships with the other chefs in the restaurants, I think it's important to have good relationships because we all work so hard.
I want to go through because I want to talk a little bit about your path here through Colombe and how you went. But I want to go to the beginning because we've got this formula for the show. And we asked you, how did you start out? How did you find your way into kitchens? You went to Silwood, right?
I went to Silwood.
Okay, so like somewhere along the line, like little Matt van den Bergh said, I want to be a chef. I'm going to phone Silwood and see if they got a place.
Yeah.
How did you get there?
I don't have the conventional story of cooking with my grandma or anything like that. My sister's a chef. She's quite a bit older than me.
Okay.
She worked on the yachts, and my path into chefing was, like I said, a little bit unconventional. I got a degree at Stellenbosch first, did BCom economics and investments. Decided to take a gap year.
Okay.
And but before I get into that, I'll tell you a story. I was at a wedding last night, and one of the girls I lived with got married, and my wife asked them if I knew how to cook when I was at varsity. I knew my wife then as well, but they wanted to know, like, Matt didn't cook that much when you lived with you, and they were literally like, sorry for my French, but how the fuck are you a chef? Because you did not cook once.
Were you like the tin frankfurter beans?
Yeah,
that digs, mate.
Yeah, it was all varsity students. A little toast, Marmite, with bread, pizza takeaways, McDonald's. Like I said, my path was unconventional, and I was exposed to fine dining early on. And with my sister being a chef, she worked on the office, she'd come back and treat us. So I respect both sides. I can eat a McDonald's burger, but I can also sit down and hold a knife and fork and be normal, civilized. But I also enjoy using my hands, So unconventional in the sense that I went to work on the yachts when I took a gap year as a deckhand, not as a chef.
Oh, not as a chef, as a deckhand.
My sister's a chef. I spent a bit of time in a galley with her on her boat. And went to work on another boat. The owner of the boat found out that I was South African, so he was like, you need to braai. And so I braaied for him a bit, and then I, through that, got a bit more involved in the cooking on the boat. And then decided I was going to go back to the yachts and make a lot of money as a chef. And enrolled at Silwood, expecting to do 1 year only. And go, like I said, go make money on the yachts. And then just 1 year of chefing school, it just felt right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So just hold the phone a bit.
Sorry, a bit fast.
No, you go fast, and that's fine. I'll just keep reining you in. That's my job here. My role is to rein you in. So let's talk about that little progression. You went from Silwood. Did you go back on the yachts, or did you get into the Colombe? Because I know that you were in like a long section for quite a while.
First kitchen I ever worked in was Test Kitchen as a first year student.
Okay.
With Luke. Back then, Ryan was head chef.
Stuff.
Yes, that was Test Kitchen. Ryan was head chef, and I remember walking in as a first year student, terrified, but also relatively confident because I knew I wanted to be a chef. I wanted to cook. But it's like a little bit easy. The energy in the kitchen was incredible. Like it was like magnetic and like intense, but cutthroat. But at the same time, like a little bit of anxiety, underlying anxiety all the time, but in a good way.
The cutthroat thing.
Yeah.
Someone told me the other day, that like mess with your sauce bottle or
It was
you're trying to climb up. Is it just sort of jokey, ragging sort of thing, or
it depends on? I think in the kitchen you're working with so many different people. I think that's definitely fallen away, but I've seen kitchens where you work in kitchens with different personalities, different cultures, and not everyone gets along. So it becomes a thing where it's like, you're causing cup with me, I'm gonna fuck with you. And I'm gonna one up you, and I'm gonna take a spatula. And I've seen things get thrown away and people can't find it in service. But it wasn't like a regular thing. I think maybe like 3 times in a year it happened. And I mean, you're spending 15, 16, 17 hours a day with the people. There's always going to be a bit of friction, and it's not the best way to deal with it, but it makes it fun. It's a good story after.
It's a good story after. So I'm going to take a commercial break. We've got to hear from our sponsors so we can fund the show. When we come back, I want to talk to you just some quick steps as to how you went through test kitchen like Colombe and how you find yourself in Mertia. And we're back. So let's talk about how your first gig was test kitchen. Then where did you go from there?
Okay, quickly, because I can't remember. So first time I worked in a kitchen was 2 weeks at test kitchen. I got sent home every day pretty much when service started. Then 1 or 2 nights I was allowed to stay. And I was like, hey, you're going to blowtorch ducks in the fridge. Then I spent the next 2 weeks blowtorching ducks in the fridge. So I never really saw service, and I always wanted to be involved in that. You're a first year student, you never cooked before, you're in the way.
Were the ducks silent?
Ducks were silent, they just let me do my thing. Following that, did my second year at Silwood, worked in 5 different restaurants, and at the time they were the best restaurants in the Western Cape. Greenhouse, Vaderkloof, La Petite Colombe, La Colombe Test Kitchen. Peter and Ashley.
Peter, okay.
Chef Peter.
Chef Peter, yes. And
so I worked those 5 restaurants. Third year I did a test kitchen, which was
like your
final year at Silwood. You do like a 1 year at a restaurant.
Yeah.
I did that at test kitchen.
And you go back and you get VSS every Monday or something.
Yes, that's in your second year, but something like that. Yeah. Then my final year I did it test kitchen. Hard graft. I lost. I wish I had lost that weight now, but I lost. I think it was like 15, 20 kilograms in 3 months. Without the burpees. It was just hard work, running around, like exercising, like sport, So I loved it.
Because also you're pulling big hours in those kitchens.
And one of my funniest memories was Chef Luke came up to me while I was working. It was halfway through my third year, and he looked at me. He's like, "Fuck, Max, you look like a chef. I love it. You're skinny, you're pale, you got bags under your eyes. You're a fucking real chef now." That's what he said to me.
You got mix in your hands.
Exactly. So that was a good year. It was a really hard year, but I think without that year, I wouldn't have been where I am today.
Okay, then let's talk about where you are today, because we kind of digressed a little bit into Mertia and it's being formerly a bank, and you in the tiny, quiet, sleepy village of Stellenbosch. What about this space made you think, I'll open a restaurant here?
Yeah, so I was working at La Colombe at the time, and I got a DM from some random guy I've never heard of, and approaching me saying that he's working in San Francisco. He wants to open a restaurant in Stellenbosch. So I think immediately that was like, oh, that's interesting. I was very happy at La Colombe, wasn't interested in leaving, but obviously a restaurant in Stellenbosch piqued my interest because I grew up here.
Okay, so that's what drew you back.
Yeah.
Got you on the ox wagon, all your possessions, the 5-day trek out here.
Up into back to the mountains.
Yeah.
And just myself and Ray had a conversation, and we kept chatting, and then
now Maria, you mentioned already.
Yes.
Say Maria found this. Maria is your partner in the restaurant.
Yeah, Maria owns Mertia. I'm the head chef.
Okay. Yeah. So Maria owns it. He said, "Listen, let's go."
Yeah. So we opened it together, and I think I'd always worked in really high or really reputable restaurants, Test Kitchen, La Colombe, all the restaurants in the La Colombe group, they're all unbelievable. So I always worked in restaurants that were already established.
Yeah.
So I was coming in, slotting into the systems that already existed, and maybe helping improve them here and there. Whereas this was a new challenge for me to be like, let me try create my own systems, and I feel like I owed it to myself to try cook my own food and put my own step.
And is the relationship? It's not like a movie chef where the owner says you will cook this.
No.
Has Maria given you your
complete freedom?
Because I mean, your tasting menus and your exploration of kind of heritage ingredients and that sort of thing, that's a lot of what I'm reading in reviews and commentary about Mertia.
Yeah, I think we'll get to the menu in a second, but because it's ever changing, I think. Like it was for me, it's a new opportunity to be to put my stamp on the food scene here, to prove to myself that it's all chefs I think have got like an underlying self-doubt, right?
Yes.
So it also means like, okay, I've worked in restaurants, I've cooked other people's food, but I need to cook my own food. Or try and work out what my own food looks like. And I'm still figuring that out. I don't really know what my food looks like.
I mean, among the trades, chefing, I believe, to be the most creative of the trades. And chefing is a trade. It's a,
Sure,
it's
yeah.
like
It's blue collar work.
it's a blue collar,
Yeah.
exactly, you know. And it's the most creative, but there's a double-edged sword there, because being a creative means that you're constantly questioning yourself.
Yeah.
Because the self-doubt comes in. Should I, would I, could I, you know, all that stuff. But I mean, it doesn't seem like, looking at the construction of your menu, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of self-doubt there in my room.
Yeah, I don't know. I just cook food that's nice and hopefully people enjoy it, you know. But I mean, I do put thought into it. But it does become difficult when we do change the menu like 3 to 4 times a year.
Yeah.
It's all mood dependent, right? So if I don't like a dish, I'll change it. Or I guess the dish comes back from the table often that hasn't been eaten. I'll have to be like, shit, do something wrong. I learned that from Chef Pete. And you would look at the dishes from the scullery and all the tables in the scullery and be like, there's a lot of food left repetitively. There's the same thing coming back on the dish. And change your element or you look at the dish.
So do you do that a
I
lot?
try to do that as much as possible. And if there's a dish that people don't like, then I'll rework it. But I think the menu we've got on now is interesting because I've got a dessert, ostrich dessert kind of thing on, which is weird. So there's a fine line between like making food that guests want to eat, but also making food that makes you satisfied.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Getting into that side of things, I think you are under quite an intense lens in this restaurant because you're sitting. I'm looking around 28.
28 at a time.
Yeah, okay. So you're
Two
sitting
seatings,
28, and you're doing 2 seatings.
Yeah.
Right, so you can seat 50. You can seat 56 in a service.
Yeah,
service.
essentially, maybe not 56, maybe like 45 max.
Okay.
And then the team will
But
feel
it's
it there.
very, because you're serving them that tasting menu, and it's very, like, everyone's looking at that dish. Do all the dishes go up at the same time, like maybe the beast does that, which I think is a great idea,
Yeah.
or people sitting down at different times and their courses are going up.
So it's very, very different. I think it'll be nice to serve everything at the same time because it'll make the kitchen's life easier
So much easier.
and it's more consistent, I think.
Yeah.
And no, what we do is we've got different time slots. So we've allocated time slots every 15 minutes for the first seating, and then we take a break, like an hour break, and then we start the second seating in 15-minute increments.
We used to do that at the table at the man, was trying to stagger people because we're in a tiny kitchen and we're doing 48 covers, 52 covers, and there were 3 people in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's wild.
So, and then everyone books for lunch, and I think lunch is 1 o'clock. So
Yeah.
everyone, even if you say please arrive at 12:30, so to take the pressure off the kitchen, everyone arrives between 5 to 1 and 5 past 1.
It happens in Mertia as well, you know. Time's just a guideline.
And in fact, we're going to take an ad break there because the sponsors, they have demands. So,
Demands.
ad break. And we're back. So, let's talk about specifics for the menu. Okay. I want to know what is a dish that typifies you, what you do as a chef? What dish could you eat and say this is meant? Is it Frank versus beans?
Maybe not a Mertia.
Yeah. And I'm not asking from the perspective of these mates at varsity.
No.
Mertia.
Yeah, Mertia.
Yeah.
At Mertia. At home, not fine dining and Bergh, but at Mertia, I know it's a hard question because you've changed your menu so many times. There's one dish that's been on the menu since we started.
Yeah.
It's definitely a pleaser, a crowd pleaser. It's like the Mertia hen's egg. I think that is probably one of them because it's been on the menu. We've done like slight difference and variations on it,
Yeah.
but it's definitely the dish that's been on the most. So got like a custom ceramic egg made by Ceramic Labs, Sean, in Woodstock. She made like an egg. It looks a bit like an ostrich egg, and then we make delicious things on the inside. So it's texturally interesting. It's got lots of different textures. It's rich, but it's classic. It's sous vide egg, 63. It's got a bit of like a chicken jus gras with truffle and smoked butter, crispy black rice, pickled potatoes, which become like gummy bears, homemade Lay's chips, burnt butter crumb, and then we make like a soubise infused with toasted parmesan and truffle. and then we just drop the hens egg and then we smoke it for a little bit of theatrics, you know. So not over the top theatrical, but enough theatrics to make it
very, very technical.
But delicious. And I like technical food.
So,
That's what I've
so
learned.
that's the question. Are you a technical chef? Is that what fascinates you about the cooking? Is it the technical side of it? Is it the temperature control, the interpretation of the ingredients, the caramelization in some things? It's super technical.
Yeah, I think definitely like maybe not that precise, but I think the food serving at Mertia is very technical, and it's perfect in terms of like how it's executed. So it's really, and that's one of the tricky parts, to make sure things are executed when they're very technical. Team's great. They do an amazing job with it. But yeah, I think our food, I don't think it's technical sometimes, but you know, if I don't think it's technical, doesn't mean it's not technical, you know.
No, exactly.
But at the moment, I think me finding myself trying to, I think it's easy to cook rich food, right? So I'm trying to push myself and challenge myself to kind of step away from food that's got 15 elements on it, to play with 15 elements and kind of pare back, and because it's harder to do that, I think. So I'm trying to push myself to do less on the plate.
The thing is that always
Make it less rich.
in every kind of circumstance, in every creative circumstance, simplicity is the hardest thing to achieve.
Sure.
And it's almost like you need to go over the top and push all the boundaries first, so you can come back and do sushi.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
But yeah, like exactly like that. I'm in that moment. I'm in that journey of discovering what type of chef, what type of food I'm going to cook. So there's maybe some people that have come here and had the best meal of their life, and other people that have come here and be like, maybe this one wasn't it. And that's the issue of changing the menu a lot. And it's good for the team. It keeps morale up, but also makes it harder for them, because then there's a week or two where we just put the new menu on this week, and it's been a very rough week. Everyone's exhausted, everyone's tired, and it's just like seasoned, you know.
And speaking of that, everyone's exhausted, everyone's tired. There's a sort of a section in the story where we talk about your team, and I'm interested in your team from this perspective. Is that years ago, like I would write stories for magazines about like when the first couple of restaurants opened in France.
Yeah.
And the people who worked in the restaurants and the kitchens, all friends of ours, they like lived in the village. Right?
Yeah.
Well, now today they have to live in the hall.
Yeah, when you can't afford to live in Stellenbosch anymore.
And so it's the same thing with Stellenbosch. So where do you draw your crew from, and how do you make sure that they're kind of getting to work and getting here on time to achieve these menus?
The work on time is, you know, if you want to work, you have to be at work on time.
Yeah.
I'm lenient like until it becomes everything happens every day. But drawing staff, getting staff, I think when we opened Mertia, that was the hardest part, because we were opening a new restaurant and you need a whole new team, and I also don't want to burn bridges with people. So
you don't want to go poaching for other people.
Yeah, the word poaching is just a tricky one, but like I just didn't want to. We get onto the poaching story just now, but I didn't want to take people from people I worked with or had relationships with, which was pretty much everyone. So I had to find free agents, guys that weren't working, or guys, maybe one or two people that were working that weren't happy, and then they would come across, and then I message a person, say, hey, just checking, I'm opening a restaurant, Stellies. This person messaged me, are you happy? And they're like, yeah, it's okay. We'll be fine. It's fine. You can take it. Yeah, exactly. And so the finding the chefs initially was really hard. And that was the hardest. It took me like, I think it was 3 months in the process and we opened up with like 5, like most of the students, just because there's a chef school, CTI in Stellenbosch, which helped. Yeah. And then my sous chef, 2 girls in pastry. One of them was from KZN, or I had never met her before. And I needed someone to help her.
And how she worked out?
She was amazing. She's left now. She was with me for a year and a half.
Okay.
She left. She's gone back to KZN. I think struggling to live this side. But yeah, I mean, I'll just pull strings from wherever I could, and then we made it work from there.
Yeah.
You know, I think the most important thing isn't finding people that know how to cook.
It's finding bodies.
Yes, no, it's finding bodies, but bodies with good attitudes.
Yeah.
You know, like if you've got a good attitude and want to learn.
Well, listen, any head chef that I speak to will say, look, you know, a lot of time you're taking people off the line somewhere else and telling them to unlearn what they know there and then learn your new style. And your explorative approach to your menu must be that you were trying to take people very raw anyway and get them up to speed the way you did.
Yeah, yes, but it's difficult to get a sous chef that has never cooked before. You know, it's luckily we opened out an amazing sous chef. Fish, and then he left after a year, and now I've got another amazing sous chef. So you need the support of the team in order to manage to cook the food.
It's very interesting though with all the people who, because there's this constant kind of turnaround in kitchens, right? All that just crazy. But also a lot of it is because people are leaving to open their own restaurants because it must be. There are so many new openings in the Western Cape. Like specifically Cape Town, but a lot of stuff's opening in Stellenbosch as well. And there's Worcester and it's
Which is, I mean, I'm stoked. The more restaurants, the better, you know. As long as, and I want them all to do well. And it just is hard because it stretches the chefs, just, you know.
Yeah.
But if you've got a good environment and you treat the guys well and they enjoy working,
they're not going to leave.
They're not going to leave quickly. But everyone knows, everyone listening, if you're watching, you know, having chefs is a tricky, and especially at the moment, season, everyone's looking.
And then there's always someone circling the edge of the
new restaurant.
Looking, sure.
I think it must have been 2 or 3 months ago. I think every single restaurant was posting for the same positions. It was commies, demis, CDPs, and that was like everyone, myself included, you know. It was just like every single restaurant is like, okay, well, not as a CDP, what a life you've got, you know. You can choose between any restaurant you want and you'll get a job, you know. But
the thing is,
CDPs are limited.
And that is if you're not going to go and get a yacht, you know. Luckily, our season is the North's winter, so but still, it's a tough one.
Exactly that. But guys that work on the yachts, kudos to them as well. Like you're looking after yourself, and I think that's
what you have to do.
Get a bit of experience in kitchens and stuff before you go do that, I think. And so when you get there, you actually know how to cook, and spending a year as a commie chef doesn't mean you know how to cook. You know, I think not for everyone, but some people are naturally good at cooking, and some people just don't get it.
I think in the interview recently with Jonathan Sale from Mountainpot, he was saying that it's like that thing with your driver's license. Just because you get the driver's license doesn't mean you can drive.
Yeah.
Right? You got to spend 2 or 3 years actually being out there. It's the same thing with coming out of cooking school. With you. I mean, luckily you get practical exposure by going into kitchens, but there's no way that you can set up and run a kitchen at 22 just out of school.
Yeah, I mean, hard work trumps everything. So you've got a bit of natural ability, that's great, but then you also got to craft really hard. And yeah, I mean, we all do that, and the kitchen team does that, and I do that.
Listen, it's time. It's time to start wiping this chat down, because I know where we're sitting right now, you've got a Devon coming in for lunch, so
it's like a nice big table.
Let's talk about the other thing that I love to ask chefs, and it's about the watch list. Who in your mind is absolutely killing it? Who's doing stuff that you think, sure, I wish I was doing that? I mean, it could be a smash ball, but what is it that you're looking around going, geez, that guy's amazing, and this is happening, and I'm like it.
I think there's a couple of, there's 2 people that spring to mind. Obviously, one of them has to be Carla, and as my bestie, and business partner, and from Habanao. I don't know if you know about Habanao.
No.
Oh yeah, so it's a very short topic, but we started, myself and Carlo, while working at Test Kitchen, started Habanao, which is like a Asian street food brand, and we sell bar buns, and at the Ranyazuk market. So we opened a new market last week, and a Time Out market. So
that's in the notes on my phone that I was supposed to ask
glad.
about. I'm sorry.
No,
you
don't be
mentioned
sorry.
it. Of course, how about now? What made you do that?
COVID.
COVID.
Yeah,
Okay.
straight up COVID. And it was meant to be short term.
And Carla is?
Carla is the executive chef of Salon.
Salon. Oh,
yes.
She works with
Luke,
Salon.
So, she's been with Luke for almost 10 years, I think.
That's exactly.
Legend.
Yeah. And so,
Nickname Gordon Ramsay. Used to be Nali. I think she's softened up on the team a bit, but she's my best friend, and she's a legend. So we open Habanao together.
I want to get her number.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'll give it to you.
her.
So I think what Carla's doing at Salon is incredible.
Yes.
I think she's learned a lot from Luke, but she's got her own identity behind it. So it's not just only Luke's food now, it's Carla's food.
When I spoke to Luke about Salon, it was very, very clear that there was a constant, not unpleasant tussle, but a tussle between them constantly looking at things and try this, try that. Hey, what do you think of this? No, let's go this. Oh, yeah. So it looks like a very good partnership.
100%, and I think, like I said, I had a meal earlier in the year, and I think it was my best meal of the year. Probably one of my best meals in South Africa in a long time. Another great restaurant, or great meal I had earlier this year, was at Colombe. I think having worked there as well, I got obviously a little bit of special treatment, which is nice.
Yeah.
But it was a birthday lunch there, and it was incredible. So I think Pete's They've obviously, like Colombe's got their formula in what style of food they cook.
Yes.
And it's fucking amazing formula. But I think Pete was able to bring his own story and narrative into it.
Okay.
Then lastly, Uzuri. I think every chef's favorite restaurant is Uzuri. Aiden's good mates of mine, studied together. Nick, the legend.
Nick is a complete legend.
Yeah, Aiden's the head chef.
Twice on the show.
Yeah.
And,
Aiden's his head chef.
okay.
And running the food side, and I think Aiden brought a really cool dynamic. Aiden's so interesting, you know. He's obsessed with food. Spent a bit of time in Copenhagen. I think what the food he's doing is some of the stuff he learned. He's always destined to be an amazing chef. But you need to talk to Aiden as well.
You know what? That's a great shot, and I'm going to check Aiden down and talk to him, because I also want to go and do a little kind of a video moment in Uzuri. And I love the whole kind of ethnic thing that's, and the move away from the very prescriptive fine dining.
Yeah.
It's easy eating.
It's easy eating, but it's very finessed, and it's, like I said, simple food, but it's executed well.
Well, what we said
I was there last week. You know,
is it? Yeah.
I was there last week. It was incredible.
So I don't get to any of the restaurants we talk about enough. You know,
There's too many.
Like exactly, I haven't been to Salon yet, and I can't believe it. And I'm
Mertia.
But Mertia? What's
Oh yeah, that cuck restaurant in Stellenbosch in the small village.
And also it takes 3 days to get to the wagon.
Yeah.
No. But exactly, I haven't been to Mertia. Slowly but surely, I just will have to go through
It's
it.
just expensive to eat all the restaurants.
Not only is it expensive, it's just time. And, you know, we were talking earlier, like the best meal that I've had in the last, whatever, 10 years, like your experience was with Lucy and Upsy at Short.
One of the places I haven't gone to, and I've been
And
promising to go
it's
for years.
completely amazing, totally inspiring. But, you know, not like that. The babysitter's $250 an hour.
Yeah.
But that's 4 hours. There's a grand before you walk out the door. It's like, you know, and it goes. So not only are the restaurants pricey, it's also the time and the space and the time in your life. You know?
Yeah, chefs don't get much time off.
They don't. So people in the food industry, we've been to missions.
Anyone in hospitality,
Everyone in hospitality.
all fucked.
Off duty. Where do you go? What do you
Off duty.
Where do you go?
Off duty, I recently moved to just outside of Stellenbosch, and so
Where?
an area called Clubnuts. We've got
Oh,
a house there. Yeah, we've got a house across from Pub Belly. Don't stalk me, everyone. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Off record. But yeah, so I live in Clubnuts, and
So that's just down the road from Melfort.
yes, like 400 meters from Malford. Been to Malford a couple of times, love it. But I think our local spot that we go to is probably Fontaine. I love a pizza. Pizza's my dirty secret, my dirty pleasure.
You have to say that slowly.
Fontaine.
Fontaine.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of, it's an old olive farm, wine farm. Not olive farm, sorry, almond and wine farm.
Yeah.
And they've created a really cool, beautiful views, delicious pizza. They've got one of the restaurants, Scape, it's got a star on each out.
Did you go on the R44?
Yeah, all the way, and then exactly, Old Paul Road at the back road.
Yes. That's
Awesome place. We love it there. The wine's like a,
try it.
pizzas are fucking delicious. And the views are cool, so we go there quite often because it's close to us.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I cook, I'm cook for the wifey, and
Heat up those beans and frankfurt.
yeah, I try to do better than that. But it's been difficult now because we're open 6 days a week in Mertia.
Ooh.
So I don't have those 2 consecutive off days. So
Is
it's like
that-
a Sunday and then it's a random day.
Is that just a season thing, or is
Yeah.
it? Oh, okay, so you do slow down a bit in winter.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think the whole of Cape Town's a seasonal affair. Obviously, some restaurants are busier throughout the year, but Stellenbosch, it's a bit like Franschhoek, but maybe in that sense where it's hyper seasonal, and then it's depending on the locals, you know. I mean, you change your offering and your menu style.
So that's the thing that would really surprise me talking to some of the guys at Joburg, is they're confused by the seasonality of the Western Cape, because for them it's all just one level, because most of their trade is business.
Yeah.
You know, so it's always on. You know,
It's always on, yeah. With this side, it's like Cape Town's obviously one of the biggest, tourist destinations in the world. South Africa is producing the best value for money food in the world, hands down. without a
There's
doubt.
no question in my mind about that.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying it. I don't
Of
have
course,
to again.
we like the warmth of the people, the quality of food, the quality of service,
But
and
even
the produce we're getting, and
the
what you're paying
produce.
for is ridiculous.
And also, when you look out the window at what you see, it's just gorgeous. You know, it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable, especially on the wine farms. We're a bit more central town based, but it's still stunning at night. We've got the best sunset.
So I just released an interview that I did for Bergh
Yes.
for their
You're gonna get the sponsorship.
yeah. But it was with Seth Sharesy, and they're doing this exhibition, and it's still this it will have gone by the time this episode comes out. But they chose Cape Town because it's a beautiful, livable city with such light and beauty in it, and they have this sort of emotions of the Sun Gallery Expo with the champagne and the whole thing, because it's just the most gorgeous city.
Yeah.
So the same.
It's got everything. You can swim, hike, wine, everything within an hour. It's like pretty much anything. Maybe except skiing or being in the snow.
Well, the only thing that isn't within an hour is Mertia restaurant, which takes 3 days to get you in the wagon. Come on.
Or maybe it just takes an hour to find parking in Stellenbosch. That's the problem.
Exactly, probably, yeah. But I mean, it is. Listen, it's a beautiful town, and there's a lot of amazing stuff going on with the food. It must be nice to be a part of it, because you've also got a community of guys you can talk to.
Yeah, we've got our chef community called Honestop. So we meet once every 2 months. Whether we discuss the food trends or whether we discuss random stuff and we'll just have a drink together, just connecting a little bit to make sure. Like, there's always tension in a small town, but it's a healthy competition.
Yeah.
And we're all lucky people that will come together. Baptist and Sean brought everyone together, and we've got our group of guys. And whenever new restaurants open and people get invited to the group, and so it's looking forward to the Stellenbosch community growing more and more. Because I think the better we all do, the better the individuals do.
And also the better quality of the food. People demand quality food. So if they're demanding quality food, then the quality of the food goes up. And
and it's just like it's like that 1% better every day.
If I think back to like looking around the restaurants over here when we were running the table today, it was a lot thinner than it is now. And I think
it was like a Geno's and Decameron were like the even before Fat Butcher opened. I grew up this side, so there wasn't any offerings.
There wasn't a Fat Butcher, there wasn't any of it. So and maybe like if we were to open that concept today, we would never going to get an eat out of it. But I mean, because it's just the competition and the quality of the chefs like you at Bergh. It's just exceptional.
I want to throw in, I forgot a restaurant that I eat at pretty much once a week, once in three, 4 times a week. That's off topic. But I want to throw back in there because I go to eat karma I think I honestly go to eat karma 4 times a month.
Marco Cardoso.
Oh, what a legend.
Just
such a good guy.
Absolutely. Listen, he's the nicest dude.
Yeah.
And he cooks up.
Yeah, it feels good.
So
it's just food you want to eat every day.
So clever. It is my sincere regret that I've only ever eaten there once. But so good. Nathan Bergh, thank you for taking this time to speak to me today. Give me food.
Thanks, Russel. It's been good having the Oxwagon down.
Yeah, exactly. I've got to go and get it out of the stables and dust it off and get back to the southern suburbs again.
Thanks for chatting to me. It's been a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming, but finally, with trying to do chef and restaurant interviews every week, I'm getting through a list. So
one by one.
Well done, you made it.
Thank you. Finally.